All right, what is going on, my dudes? We actually have some content today that isn't Hercules related. I know it's crazy, right? I thought we were only doing Hercules content from now on. But basically, we're going to be looking at America Chavez today. So she's the new champion being released. I would imagine there's like pre-release bundles or whatnot coming out right now. She's coming to the arena next week, I believe, right? So her crystals are coming out next week as well. And she's a champion in the game for sure. She's definitely a champion in the game. And I mean, maybe it's because she's coming out the same month as Hercules, man. But she is not the best, man. She's just not. That's just the thing. Here's the thing with America, man. She's super fun to play. Like, check out my power bar, man. Like, I'm gonna like when you throw those special attacks when you have like your dimensions up. She's really fun, and she has that passive stun on her heavy attack, kind of like Wasp, but like Doom in a way, right? So she's definitely fun to use. But here's the issue, man. I'm sure there are people who are like really big Guardians of the Galaxy fans, right? So like Groot is going to be fun for them to use too. And let me just be very clear, I'm not relating America Chavez to Groot at all. What I'm just saying is that just because a champion is fun to use doesn't always mean they're going to be super useful. So when you really break down America Chavez's kit, it looks pretty difficult to understand. It looks pretty complicated is what I meant to say. But really it's not too complicated. At first glance, it's going to look like you want to go for a special 3 first and foremost to get your 3 dimensions up, but you can get your dimensions up very, very easily in the fight. What you basically want to do is go for a heavy attack right away, get the 3rd dimension up, then go for a heavy attack into the special 1 after the 2nd hit of the heavy, and then a special heavy attack into the special 1 after the 1st hit of the heavy. At this point, you're going to have all of your dimensions up, and as you can see, look, that we were at 2 bars of power almost. We went for a special 1, and then we got power back pretty much all the way up to a special 2. So her special 1 gives you a lot of power based on how many of the dimensions you have active. So that's definitely a really fun way to play. But at the end of the day, man, she's a Mystic champion, and she doesn't really have too many ways to like counter buffs or power control in an actual effective manner. Like when you use a heavy attack when you chain from a basic combo, essentially that can like suppress the power, but that's not really power control, right? Now here's the thing, the special 2, it gets like that little prowess or whatnot, and you can get some like life steal if you do the second one, depending on the dimension that you activate. We'll actually look at her abilities a bit later, but a rank 3 6-star, played pretty aggressively, got through Winter Soldier in about 2.5 minutes in 125 hits. Now keep in mind, okay, this is very, very important here. We're going to go with this one now. We'll keep talking over the 5-star one. So it's very important to note that America Chavez has an ability in her kit that essentially says she gains plus, let's just round it to 500 attack for every dimension, and for every unique dimension, so she could have 3, right? Or every buff on the champion, or on the defender. So essentially there's a cap of 9 there. So if you go into a fight where there are like 7, 8, 9 buffs, well, her damage is going to look a lot more impressive. And so there are some, showcases we have in this video for that. I'm only going to show you maybe like another 60 seconds of the 5-star here, because you get the idea, right? I'll tell you this, the 5-star does worse than the 6-star, right? It's the same kind of thing, but the damage is worse. The power gain, the power rate is actually better, so it's actually easier to chain your specials here. But she's so much fun to chain the specials, I'll say that. But for a Mystic champion, she is like really lacking a lot of utility for me to ever want to use her, to ever want to rank her up. She kind of reminds me of like Jubilee, who I feel the same way, like in her class, man. She's like, Jubilee doesn't have stuff that sets her apart to make her actually usable in the mutant class, and I feel like America Chavez is the same thing for the Mystic class. She's kind of like the Mystic Jubilee, where she's super fun to play, she looks really great, her animations are amazing, her block animation is incredible, her special 3 is really, really cool, but you're not really going to use her at the end of the day. Right there, though, that's some nice lifesteal from the 2nd dimension, which is definitely pretty nice to note. So that's definitely kind of cool. Makes her like kind of suicide friendly if you go for that kind of chain, right? Also, you can also have the special 2 be unblockable, which I believe I show off at the end of this fight here. So why don't we go ahead and see that? I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. But basically, the last beam could be unblockable if you do a full heavy attack into a special 2. So, yeah, the rank 5 took about 145 hits and about 3 minutes to get down Winter Soldier. And again, like I said, she's going to be good when she's up against buffs. So we're going to a resistor now in 6.3.3. Let's check out this little bit right here, okay? In her ability list, for each unique parallel dimension on America and each buff on the opponent, you gain plus for the rank 3 plus 700 attack rating. So you can have almost 7,000 or more, okay, in this fight just from these. Now keep in mind, physical resistance, whatnot, that's going to decrease some of the damage, right? But as you can see right there, that was a nice 10k crit on the first part of the heavy attack. And yeah, look, that was a 7k light attack. The damage when there are buffs is so much better. And off the top of my head, I couldn't really think of a great place to go with a lot of buffs, because there's a lot of that stuff in Act 7, but Act 7 is currently locked off on the CCP beta. So in Act 6, there aren't too many places where there are a ton of buffs, but as you can see, when you break through that physical resistance, we're doing like a 14k medium crit, which is really nice, really good damage. Let's go for the special 2 now. Boom, boom. Not too bad at all. And now we started, to build up some of those energy resistances, but again, a 14k medium crit. So in scenarios, right, where there are a ton of buffs, 9 buffs or more, right, all you really need is 6 buffs. If there are 6 buffs on the opponent, yeah, you're going to see some nice damage out of America Chavez. However, she still doesn't have the utility that you need from a Mystic champion. That's just kind of how it is. But as you can see, this fight was much better than the Winter Soldier fight. Like a generic fight with no buffs, it's not going to be a fun time for America Chavez. You're not going to want to use her there. So we'll go ahead and we'll do one more fight here on Resistor. We'll use the 5-star this time against Drax, right? We have class advantage. It's going to be a good time here. It's going to be a good time here with America Chavez against Drax, okay? It's unfortunate, though. It's unfortunate because she is a cool character, and there are a lot of America Chavez fans out there. I just feel like, she has... Her kit just feels... I don't want to say incomplete. It just feels kind of... And I also don't want to say useless, but it just doesn't... I wouldn't use her, for anything, really. And she's definitely usable, but... Even like this lane, for example, you can do this lane with just about anybody. What she has going for her here is all the buffs, right? But unless it's like a very generic lane, I don't really see anybody using America Chavez for anything important, One thing I do love about her, though, is I do love the heavy chain from the basic combo. I will say that. I do like that a lot, and she's really fun to spam the specials with, and her animations are wonderful, right? So watch this. We're going to go for a couple heavies in the corner. See how that basically gave, like, no power, which is nice. Go right into the heavy, into the special 1. She's really so much fun to play, and that's what's so upsetting about it, We're going to go for some heavy attacks here, and I think we're going for the unblockable special 2. No, we're not. I don't know why I keep thinking we're going to do that. That was a nice big special 2 there, right? So yeah, at this point, we're going to build up to the 3 dimensions again. We got a lot of power gain here, okay? That was a nice, decent crit on the end of the special 1. Go for some heavy attacks, right? Go for another heavy attack. Boom, boom, boom. And now, we're going to go ahead, do one more heavy attack. Is this where I do it? Unblockable special 2? Yes, watch the ending. Boom. So that was cool, right? But you have to do a full heavy attack first and get that dimension up. Well, let's go for one more fight here in this video. And then we're going to talk about her a bit and look at her kit and whatnot. But this is against a Groot in the same chapter. There's also combo party here. So it's going to increase our crit damage rating just a little bit. But what I wanted to show you with Groot here is that, if you don't know how Groot works, this is his abilities, right? He basically gets a lot of buffs depending on different situations. So we're going to go in here. We're going to try to give Groot a lot of buffs. And we're going to see our damage, man. And we're going to see if, this kind of fight is going to be good for America Chavez. So stuff like, for example, unlimited power in the future. I can't really get to that note easily right now, but I'd like to try her on unlimited power for a couple reasons, and we'll talk about that. So I feel like at the moment, I can't showcase her as, great as I want to in the scenarios where I actually want to use her. But as you can see, no physical resistance, no nothing. We do have the 1 cruelty buff there, right there. But you can see when there are buffs on Groot, we do a lot more damage. Now, there are a lot of buffs on Groot right now, 18k medium crit, which was nice. And now check this out. We're going to go here for a special 2. Let's watch it. Huge, because of the buffs. There aren't going to be buffs in every matchup, though, and that's the problem, right? Now, there's another thing I wanted to talk about here, is that, her dimensions do different things, okay? Now, Utopian Parallel is the first one. Reduce opponent's Fury, Armor Up, Precision, and Cruelty buff potency by 70%. So, a node like Unlimited Power, for example, okay? It's kind of like, that's the one where they get all the Fury buffs, like up to 99 Fury buffs, right? Essentially, you can just reduce all that Fury pretty much down to nothing, and you're going to be taking no damage. So that's definitely useful there. However, there are still better options. There's Morningstar, Longshot, etc., etc. Other Mystic champions who can actually get through the fight better, But It's kind of like a Dragon Man type ability, and she, in my opinion, she suffers from the same thing that Dragon Man suffers from, where like they just don't feel like Mystic champions, because Dragon Man reduces like the opponent's potency of their buffs, right? But he doesn't like stagger, he doesn't power drain control aside from the cornered mechanic, right? But he's supposed to be kind of like, you know, a robot with the Mystic tag, okay, and some Mystic capabilities. But America Chavez is a straight up Mystic champion, but she just doesn't have the abilities, right? And over here in Dark Dimension, reflect 40% of hit damage taken as energy damage. That's, you know, that's nice, that's fine. And then Negative Zone, reduce opponent's ability power gain rate by 60%. So that could certainly be useful too against champions like Hyperion and Arcus, for example, or other champions who have like power gain buffs. That's definitely going to be useful. That might be also nice against, like, for example, Doctor Strange, and Symbiote Supreme. So she definitely has some stuff going on. But at the end of the day, there's no real form of power control, you know, when there isn't like a power gain buff. And at the end of the day, if there are stuff like power gain buffs and whatnot, there's going to be better options for those fights. And I'm not always saying that, I'm not saying that we always have to use the number one option, but it just does feel like America Chavez falls very short of just about everything she's supposed to do, which is unfortunate, but who knows? Maybe she'll get a little tune-up in the future. But yeah, so that's pretty much how she works. She gets big energy resistance and big attack rating against opponents with a lot of buffs. She has the passive, you know, heavy attack stun, which is nice. The special 1 gives you a bunch of power as you spam specials back to back to back. And then on her special 2, you know, depending on the last one that you use, the Utopian Parallel, you have additional damage. Dark Dimension, regenerate 12% of hit damage dealt, which is nice for the Suicide Masteries. And Negative Zone, you go unblockable. And the special 3 just activates one of each of the dimensions, which you do normally with the special 1. So I prefer to spam the special 1s as opposed to getting to the special 3. And then her Sig ability, it doesn't do much if at least 3 dimensions are active. America becomes supercharged, granting the following bonuses: plus 50% dimensional energy infusion potency, and launching a special 2 during a heavy attack provides plus 1 stack on whichever dimension was activated. So yeah, guys, that's America Chavez. You know, like I said, I think that in the future there might be some paths where she might be useful for, like I said, unlimited power, other paths where there are just a crap ton of buffs. She's going to be, you know, kind of decent there, but at the end of the day, I don't think she's going to fill a void in your roster of something that you're, like, severely looking for. She's definitely not the worst champion released this year by a long shot, but she's not going to do anything new. She doesn't bring anything crazy to the table, in my opinion, but you know what? It's going to be totally up to you whether you decide to go for her or not. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan. However, you saw the gameplay, you saw her in a couple different scenarios, so now you get to use this and you get to make that decision for yourself, whether you want to get the bundle, whether you want to get the crystals, whether you want to go for her arena. Personally, I won't be doing any of that, so that's what I'm gonna do, and now it's your decision. So anyway, my dudes, that's gonna be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop your boy a big old like and comment what you think about America Chavez in the comment section below. Are you happy with her? Are you disappointed? Do you not care? Tell me the truth. I'm kind of curious. But anyway, guys, I'll be seeing you around.